Hello, my YouTube world. Johnny Moe here, coming to you my story part 2. So we're going to pick up 1997. If you're watching this video for the very first time and you haven't watched my story part 1, you got to go back and watch it, because to understand where I'm going, you have to understand where I've been. So it's 1997, very pivotal moment. Sitting in the truck as a landscape foreman. My boss at the time was getting out of mowing, and we went from a 5-day mowing list down to 1-day mowing list, and that was done on a Friday. And so I was sitting in the truck, guys were out mowing, I was marking the books, and when we marked the books, the foreman would write down the date, what we did on the property, and the price, because the foreman knew the price of everything, because he was the one usually doing some of the estimating, so he had to know the pricing factors for it. So what happened was, I was sitting there, and only on 1 day of mowing, I looked up what we did for the week. You know, I added them all up, times it by 30, and we were doing about 45 grand a year. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, you know, I'm making about either $13 or $14 at the time. And what I'm thinking is, guys, I'm thinking I can do this myself. You know, if I spread that out over 3 or 4 days, I could do it all by myself, make 45 grand myself. You got to understand that, you know, where I grew up, that was a lot of money. And, you know, I'm thinking, wow, I can be my own business owner. And 1997, that day in that truck, Johnny's Mowing was born in my mind. In my mind, from that moment on, I was always thinking, how could I do this? And at the same time, in that part of my mind, I'm thinking, how can I do this? In this part of my mind, I'm thinking, you'll never make it. So you have two factions of your mind just fighting against each other. So a lot of hem-hawing. You know, should I start a business? I don't know. What should I do? And because I wasn't secure enough as an individual, and I wasn't, you know, smart enough to take that kind of chance in life, I let it go. I let it pass. So in 1998, it's June. So 1998, it's June. I've been working for this guy for 2 years now. I moved up the company. I was at the top of the totem pole. There were about 5 employees. I was at the top, and what happened was he decided that he was going to expedient his mowing. He was going to get rid of it right there and right now. It was a 2-year plan. That was it was done. He didn't want to mow anymore. He was making too much in fertilizing, too much in landscape hardscaping. So at the time, he was the largest company in the town. Also, he still might be, considering how much fertilizing he does. He's the largest in our town by far. You know, even True Green can't touch him. If they want to come in here, they're going to have to buy him out. So he got rid of all his push mowing, but no one really wanted the push mowing. So I said, you know, I need some extra money. I'm getting married in a few years. You know, I'll take the push mowing. He had no idea in his head that I was even considering doing a business. So in 1998, I took on 5 accounts, plus I picked up a couple extra. That gave 6 accounts, 7 accounts, and the business was born. Johnny's Mowing became a company that year, 1998. My first year, I made $830. I registered my name, Johnny Mowing. People always ask, why are you called Johnny's Mowing? Do you know that's not a good name? You know, you do so much more than mowing. And you know what? You're absolutely right. But at the time, I had a no-compete clause, and I could not do anything that my boss was already doing. So if I'd have called myself Johnny's Lawn and Landscape, that would have avoided the compete and made me do something else. Now, on the flip side of that, has it hurt me? No. We're going to the bank every day with Johnny's Mowing checks for landscaping, fertilizing, snow plowing. You know, it's a name. Your company is more than just a name. You could have the catchiest name in the world and still not make any money. I mean, there's a couple guys. There's one guy, his name is Lawn and Order. And you know what? He ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? I don't even see him around anymore. It's a catchy name, but there's a couple other companies out there got some catchy names, but they ain't doing nothing. So, and I think that Lawn and Order is nationwide. I see a lot of companies that have it. But honestly, your name is you. You know, you go out and you do what you got to do. Forget the name. Go register it, get out there, and push it and make some money. So 1998 was born, made $830. 1999, picked up a few more accounts, picked up some commercial equipment, my boss sold two 21-inch Toro Suzuki 2-cycle mowers, picked those two up. I ended up doing 4,467. You wonder why I'm looking over there, because that's where all my numbers are. And so I'm looking at that. So 1999, I had $4,467. Was working all day and most of the night. 2000, I made $5,708. But in 2000, I was getting married, and I wasn't really doing real great at the mowing end of it. I mean, I was working a lot, not getting much, but I'm about to get married. There's a purpose reason why I'm telling you this. In the meantime, back in 98, at the end of 1998, he gave his business, the mowing side of the business, to a kid that used to work for us. He didn't even know how to mow grass. So it was someone I taught how to mow grass, and he gave him the business. He was making $45,000 a year his first year, because I added it all up, and he was only growing. So in 2000, I go to the bank and I try to apply for a loan, because I was getting married the next year. Started looking for houses, and they denied my loan because, number one, I didn't have credit. Number two, I didn't make enough at my job. They said that they don't like his income because it's a part-time income, and they don't count unemployment. And I remember leaving there tearing up and crying, because I'm like, I can't even get my wife a house. What kind of a guy am I? And I left there, and I said, you know what? I gotta go this thing full time. I gotta hit it hard. So that point on, I started trying to sell it, do it, going after it. 2001, I get married. That year, I only made $6,100, and we got about 10 grand. And this is the reason why I'm telling you this, guys. There's a purpose behind it. There's pivotal years in your life that you have to remember, and this is one of them. 2001. We got 10 grand for our wedding. We come home. We couldn't afford a house, so we were living paycheck to paycheck, and barely making it to paycheck. And I just knew I never wanted to be on welfare. I wanted to be something more. I didn't want to give up on the business, but it was looking like, that year I only made $6,100, and I'm like, you know what? I just knew coming home, working for that company, I dreaded getting up. I dreaded going to work. I just wanted to come home and do my own thing. And so I sat my wife down and I said, you know what, hon? I said, I want to take the 10 grand and up my equipment. I really want to go after it. So I took the whole 10 grand, updated my truck, got a new Ford truck, new trailer, and some new equipment. First 36-inch walk behind, and I just went after it. And, that was a very pivotal point, because when I did it, my boss noticed. He's like, uh-oh, this guy's going out on his own business. Now, this is very important. So in 2001, I only made $6,100, and I'd spent all our money, all of our money that we got from our wedding. We were broke. We were making it paycheck to paycheck, barely making it. My boss then takes notice of what I did. He then comes to me and he says, I want to buy you out. I don't want you doing what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know what it looks like. I've done it myself. And he said, just stop what you're doing. I'll buy all your equipment, and I'll give you a raise to run my company. So in 2001, I had a very tough decision to make. As soon as I got home is when I bought the equipment from our honeymoon, and I did what I did, and I told him no. See, right here, guys, you have to know what you want out of life. You have to understand, if you're starting your business up, you'll go, if you're just in it for the money, you're going to have trouble. Because the first time something better comes along, you're gonna want to quit it, because it gets tough. Now listen, up until this time, I made no money. Honestly, everything we were making, we were barely making it. It sounded really good to get rid of the equipment, I could just have my own truck and he would pay me more money. It sounded good, but it's not what I wanted to do. See, because when I woke up in the morning, I realized I didn't like what I was doing. You know what I mean? I hated it. When the alarm clock could go off, you hated it. And just because he gave me more money didn't mean I'd like it anymore. So I turned him down. And he realized, he said, you know what? I know what you're doing, so once your work interferes with my work, you're out. And he was right. I mean, I knew, I was working tough. I was working 7 to 3, and a lot of times he wanted me to work over, but I just said no. And I kept going. I'd go at night, and, it was a struggle in the marriage. First year of marriage, my wife comes in. I spent all our money. We weren't making any money. I felt as failure as a man because here I am trying to hustle and do what I need to do, and I'm not spending any time with my wife. My marriage seems to be falling apart. My boss has threatened me to lose my job. I'm not making any money with this mowing thing. Everyone told me I was crazy. You're stupid. You shouldn't do that. You got a good job. At that time, I was making $15 an hour, $16 an hour. Eventually I would make $17. And they're just like, you're stupid, man. Listen, guys, at the moment, everyone's telling you no. But inside, you're telling yourself yes. And it's very important that you know the reason why you're telling yourself yes. Because if you don't know the reason why you're telling yourself yes, you'll leave and you'll never make it. It might even be a good opportunity. But let me tell you something. Johnny's Mowing, that's on that wall right there, is a great opportunity. And the only person that could see it at the time was me. You see what I mean? See, when you're growing up in the projects and you're going through those tough times in life, and they don't get any better sometimes, it's nice to go through them and realize, you know what? We got through that. See, in 2001 when he made me the offer, I'm thinking, I'm getting a good offer. But this is a great opportunity. Now, did I know it was going to take off? No. Did I know it would be what I am doing now? No. But if you don't got the stuff on the inside for the reasons why you're telling yourself yes, you're in trouble. So 2001 comes, my wife comes to me. It's about September. She's like, I didn't know marriage was going to be like this, struggling here, you're never home, we're always broke, I didn't sign up for this. Listen, man, I remember the show I was watching. I came in at 9 o'clock that night. My wife made sauce and meatballs with fried zucchini, and I was watching The Pretender at the time. I remember I looked at that TV as she walked away from me, and I felt like, man, I didn't even make it a year in marriage. I thought she was going to leave me. And here I am busting my butt, doing everything I can, but I was neglecting the one person. So I did make some priority changes. Right there, I got into Dave Ramsey books and different things, got our finances squared away. I was working a lot. But at the end of that year, I decided that I was going to try this full time on my own, and I was going to leave my company in 2002. So I turned him down on his offer. I went out on my own, 2002. I got a zero turn, so I was invested, man. I had debt on the business now. Marriage was rough. We fought through all that. In 2002, now listen to me, guys. I'm going somewhere. I don't want you to turn this video off. 2002, I made $8,900. And everyone was like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? You're not going to make it. You should have never quit that job. But let me tell you something. If you quit every time it gets hard, or if you have a bad 5 years, you'll never experience the 7th year. Because that's how long it took. Let me count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th year. In 2002, I made $8,900. The 6th year. The 6th year was coming. And I was prepared for it. You got to remember, I bought all the equipment. I had everything. I knew my job. I was on my own. I had time to take on more accounts. Remember the guy in 1998 that got got the business handed to him by my boss, who was his cousin. Well, he had grown a nice-sized business by this point. He was cutting a lot of grass. Well, here's what happened. He wasn't very good with his income, and he couldn't make it through the winter, so he went to work for a steel mill. Well, March of that year, the temperature shot up to 80. The grass started going through the roof. His truck engine blew up in his truck, and he couldn't get to the accounts. He was still working, but he wasn't making enough to get a new truck engine. Well, week by week ago, the grass was started growing. Well, what happened was everyone in town knew his accounts because we were cutting grass already, and his accounts were getting large. And we're like, wait a minute here. So gave him a call. I called him up. I was like, hey, dude. I said, your accounts are getting up there. Your customers are starting to get ticked. Are you okay? And he was like, listen, I'm getting out of mowing. I'm tired of this. I can't make any money. I couldn't even buy a truck engine. So me and another company split his accounts. We went and knocked on his door. I drove up with my equipment, knocked on their doors. Hey, listen, my name is John. I'm here. I understand that your guy's not able to handle your account. And one guy took one part of his account. And because my old boss was the guy who fertilized these lawns, he was kind of dishing them all out because he was, it was like, hey, guys, who can mow these accounts? So two of us took them. Now, listen, that year I tripled in income. There it was right there. There it was right there. You want to know why? Because I was prepared, and I didn't give up in 2001 when it didn't look good. The wifey wasn't happy, and we were broke. Let me tell you something. You got to keep pushing through that stuff, because if you get up and you've said yes to your business, and it's more than just making money, then you'll never experience if you quit the 2003. See, 2003, I had no idea in my mind that what was going on is over here. Now listen to me. Just catch this. I got to get you to catch this. This is really important. This is worth the video right here. I'm doing everything I can in 2002 to make money. I'm doing everything I can to service my customers. I'm preparing myself. I've got the equipment. I'm doing everything I get. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm better than most of these guys out here. And I am better. I am better than those guys. I was better than back then. I had the equipment. I had the experience. I knew what to do. It wasn't going on. But what I didn't know on the other side, what was going on. See, you don't know what's going on these other people's businesses. Sometimes they don't handle the money right. Sometimes they get arrogant. Sometimes they just retire. You don't know when it's going to be your time to step forward and your chance and your shot's going to be there. But if you quit in 2001, you'll never experience 2003. You'll never experience it because you're a quitter. Because the reason why you said yes wasn't great enough to keep going through the tough times. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why you have to go through tough times in life so that you can experience the great things. In 2003, Johnny's Mowing took off and has never looked back since. Never. You'll never get to where you're going if the reason why you said yes to begin with isn't great enough. While you're out there hustling, while you're out there doing what you're doing, there's something going on that you're not aware of, that your preparation in that mistake is going to boom, and you're going to blow up. Let me show you that again, because that's powerful. You're preparing, you're hustling. There's a mistake coming on the other end. And all of a sudden, boom, they clash. We've never been the same since. But if I'd have quit in 2001, that's it. So in 2003, the business shot up, and we've been hustling ever since. We've added employees, multiple crews, and that's my story, guys. That's how it took off. It wasn't all great and all awesome, but let me tell you something. You got to go through those tough times. And you're out there, you're in your third year, you're like, I'm not going to make, what did I make my third year? $5,700. Big whoopee-doo. But let me tell you something, man. I'm not even going to tell you what I did last month. Last month, just in snow plowing, we made so much money just in snow plowing. We made so much. We probably made last month as much as some people grossed last year in mowing. You'll never experience any of that. You'll never have a 20 grand month in snow plowing without, if you quit in 2001. You got to go through it. I mean, I want you to think about that. Just in snow plowing alone. Are you kidding me? We made more money in snow plowing than I did in my first freaking 5 years in business, I think. What did we make? Our first 4 years in business I made in 1 month. Think about that. 1 month. Are you kidding me? Listen, guys, that's my story. I want you not to quit. This is how I got to where I am. And this is the end of this video. I just want to encourage you not to quit, to keep going forward. And listen to me. If the reason why you said yes to your business isn't great enough, then get out right now, because you're going to quit later on anyway, and you're going to waste a lot of time. So ask yourself, why am I getting up? Why do I want to own my own business? For everyone, it's different. But if you can answer yourself the reason why you said yes to your business, you'll get through those first 5 years, or you will even get through a down year where it's real bad. You know what I mean? Where it's just, you just had a bad year. You know, your yes has to be greater than a job offer. And I'll finish out the story with saying this. Since I've left that company, I've been offered 3 times to be bought out. He wants me to come back, run his business. He's a lot larger company than me. But let me tell you something. 3 times he's offered, and I've said no. Why? Because when the alarm clock goes off at 2 o'clock in the morning and it's time to go plow snow, I might roll out of bed tired, but here's the thing. I enjoy it. I'm happy to tell people I own my own lawn and landscape business, because I took a chance in 1998 and I gathered 5 lawns and I went after it. That's my story, guys.